Welcome to a very special episode of Qrivia where we put, dun dun dun, Harley to the test. Our topic this week is Hades, the video game. Harley, how many hours have you played on Hades?
According to Steam, I have played 90.1 hours of Hades.
When did you last play?
November 2020. Don't know what I was doing back then, but I assume I had a lot of time for Hadesing.
Okay, time to find out whether or not you're a fake gamer girl.
Ooh, oh no, I'm about to be exposed on the internet.
Now, I'm going to start with the easy questions.
Thank Hades? You have a concerning number of highlighters.
Well, is it really science if we don't track your scores?
I hate that you're right.
All right, so easy number one.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we...
Zagreus.
Who do we play as trying to escape the underworld?
Zagreus.
Good job. You got one.
I hate my father so much.
Well,
but I love to monologue. And for some reason, even though this is Greek mythology, I'm very British.
Yes, they are all... Well, yeah, they're British, and they actually do know the fact that he has a British accent because it lines up with his parentage.
I bet the keyboard is his favourite instrument.
It is. So you've led into question number two. Who is this? Zagreus is the son of who?
Hades.
And he's assisted escaping the underworld with the Olympians providing him what?
Boons.
Yes.
A word that comes up in D&D and Hades and nowhere else in life.
Well, you were perfectly suited to get that right then. Who reached out to the Olympians on Zagreus' behalf to get their help?
Oh, Nyx?
Yes, it is Nyx.
I was about to say Night Lady, which is correct, but not correct.
Stop predicting my questions, you bitch. Night is known as what incarnate? So Nyx is known as what incarnate?
Night?
Yes, correct. What is the first dungeon of the escape attempt?
Oh, like the first level.
Yeah, they sometimes call it environments or biomes.
Thank goodness there's no awesome backing track with a 10-second countdown. Tartarus?
Yes, it is Tartarus. Zagreus is seeking his birth mother, this person.
Ooh. It's not the one that's impossible to pronounce. No, Persephone.
Yep. You would get to that quicker if you'd actually listen to my recommendation and watch Hadestown.
Never gonna let that live me down in any podcast ever again.
Never. Who trained Zagreus to fight?
Was it Skelly?
No. He might be the heel of this episode.
Oh, that fucker. No, I was going to say the guy that hangs out with the cool bull in Elysium.
No, it is not him. That would be Achilles. The heel of the episode.
Oh, that's actually in hindsight.
Thank you.
Don't cut there, Harley.
Name any of the romanceable characters. There are three.
Medusa.
Can you give me another one?
Megrius? Meg?
Yeah, no, okay. So you said Medusa.
Uh-huh. Oh, no, she is a Medusa. She's not named Medusa.
Yes, her name is Dusa. And then, yes, you do have Megara, and then Thanatos is the third one.
Oh, yeah. Like how Thanatos shows up literally every time as like, hey, I'm into you, but I'm too dark and mysterious to actually say it, so let's have a competition. Yeah,
look, Paramore's Still Into You starts playing, but then it's undercut with a short stack song. Yeah.
One of the worst things to come out of our AI hellscape is there's no longer 2006 AMVs on YouTube with anime shit and cool pop punk songs.
Truly the death of an era.
I could do that, but I just do not have the time. What a shame.
And then your last question for easy is, who must you get past to exit the Temple of Styx to get to the surface?
You have to fight the goodest boy.
Well, if you're doing things right, you don't have to fight it.
Yeah, true. I should actually say his name, Cerberus, or Spot, if you read a certain Dresden Files novel.
It is Serby.
Serby.
He is the goodest of boys. My favourite thing about the game is the different dialogues, well, not dialogues, but the different upper thirds that you get when you give him the Satyr sack. Cerberus defeated his hunger. All right, well, you know what? You got 9 out of 10.
That's much better than I thought I would do.
Well,
On a brief aside, if the game actually made you fight Serby, I would have put it in for a Steam refund. So glad they didn't.
Okay, here's a fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
If you... Well, actually, you're going to have to wait until the end for this fun fact because otherwise it would give away things.
In the industry, we call this foreshadowing.
Yeah. So let's just hold on to the fact that Harley will not fight Serby, and I will remember that later.
I am concerned.
All right, so medium, number 1. Who was the first Olympian to reach out?
Ooh. Is it Cool Hunter Lady?
It is not
Heck.
Artemis. But it is a lady. It's Athena.
Ah, that makes sense. She's on a hell of a run in Ring of Honor at the moment.
Yeah, look, Nyx thought she would be the most reasonable. Nyx gifts Zagreus this item in his room to increase his strength.
The Mirror of Night.
That is correct.
I was desperately trying not to say the Mirror of Erazad.
You know what? And thank Christ you didn't, so we don't have to go down that tangent. While escaping, you can purchase goods and boons from who?
Oh, Chevron? No. Heck. Heckity. No.
Look, I am actually going to give that to you because I feel like someone watching a YouTube of our episode would give themselves that when the answer is Charon.
Charon. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, look, I'll round up for that one.
Thank you.
Mostly because you are going to be doing our unfairs questions as a sneak peek as well today. So
I'm going to do very poorly on those.
Yeah. You pay Charon with which currency that he craves?
Do you actually use the gold coins, or do you have to give him something else?
So it is the gold coins, but they're not called gold coins.
No, they're not lira, are they?
No. That would be obols.
Obols.
Gotta get those
Oh my. That's nothing. Harley, cut that.
Really fun thing is that if you actually have a look at Skelly's drawing, his picture, his animation, he actually has an obol on his tongue.
And not on the eyes.
Well, yeah, because this one's actually accurate. Unlike, is it Troy? Yeah, Troy does it wrong. I've noted this before.
Going to be a shocking revelation for any listeners hardcore enough to listen to this podcast, but I've not actually seen Troy. That was one of the few Quivias I've done without seeing the original property.
I live with a history fanatic, so when that come up, I learnt a thing about Greek history. Not so much from history, but what is the name of the chthonic companion that Thanatos gives?
Zero idea.
So that's Mort, which is French for death.
That part I knew.
Which Olympian only reaches out after you reach Hades for the first time?
Demeter?
It is Demeter, yep.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes. Look, the game will say Demeter. Other people say Demeter. I don't have enough authority to tell you which one's correct.
I'd only ever seen it written down in things. And then I think I named a character in a podcast once upon a time after them. And I was like, maybe I should just avoid saying their name. That way I don't have to know.
You know what? That's fair. And at least you get a head start on how all these are pronounced, or at least how I pronounce them based off the game before recording these episodes.
Well, that's all right. A boring white guy in shorts without a personality will correct us in the comments because Greek history and mythology is his only interest in life. There's so many of them, though.
Please don't attack my future husband.
No, he knows other history and shit. He knows other things too. But there's so many people I've met at university and shit where it's like, oh my God, you don't even know Greek mythology? Let me correct you. And it's their entire personality.
That's because they had a hyper focus as a child, but they didn't realize what it was.
Hades is the only Greek mythology thing I've recently been able to stomach. He said not having to play the game for 4.5 years.
I genuinely love this game.
It's very good.
I believe I have put in more hours than you, but I have not found out easily because I play it on the Switch. I don't know how to do that. There is a way. I just don't know.
Buried in settings somewhere.
All right. So Persephone is living in a cottage where?
Oh, she's in Lava World, which is the second one.
No. Persephone.
Heck.
His mother, you have established.
Surface World.
Yes, but where in the surface world?
Cyprus?
Less specific.
Greece.
Thank you.
You're really walking me there.
Again, I'm making you do the unfair questions. So
You're old enough to have seen the Simpsons movie. Which option, sir? This one. Oh, one to the right. That one. No. Take away the rest. That one. Yes. Perfect.
We're doing a really bad example of game theory today. After successfully defeating Hades the first time, he will enact this inconvenient contract.
Second health bar.
No, he always has the second health bar. Remember, it's a contract. You'll find it when you go back to your weaponry room.
No, sorry.
Okay. That is the Pact of Punishment.
Let's just gloss over the fact that this game is very centered around a daddy punishing his son.
Yeah, but he grows, so isn't that...
Oh, character arcs. That's new for storytelling.
Yeah. Who are the sisters of Megara, the other Furies called in to protect Tartarus?
The Harpies?
Well, so they're the Furies, or the Erinyes.
They definitely have names, and I have not remembered them.
That would be Alecto and Siphonie.
One of them was always a real pain in the tuchus.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one, though.
I find Alecto a bit more difficult to Siphonie. She reduces her space, so find it a little bit more confined combat. It's good. All right, now this will determine whether or not you get a passing grade on medium.
Mm-hmm.
Who guards the exit from Asphodel?
Lava Snake. Which I do not know the name of.
You know what? Can you tell me any defining feature about that lava snake?
Made of bones.
Yep.
Bone snake.
Look, close enough. I'm going to give it to you.
Bone Snake is ready.
Well,
What's
no.
Bone Snake's name?
The Bone Hydra is
Bone
ready.
Hydra. It's not. Is it actually a Hydra?
Yes, it's a Hydra.
I mean, again, I haven't played this game in a while, but I thought it was just like a snake that just kept diving out of the lava at you. I didn't realize it was multiple heads.
Well, so in life it was the Lernaean Hydra.
Yeah.
But it was killed by Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
So this is its shade. So the Bone Hydra. Although if you do get far enough acknowledging the fact that it is the Lernaean Hydra, you eventually call it Lerny, which is quite cute. All right, you know what? You got 5 out of 10 for medium. How are you feeling?
I'm
You're
feeling
halfway
like
through.
I need to get this out. If the Lernaean Hydra came from anywhere else, it would just be sparkling bone monster.
That's funny. It's understated, but funny. In an intellectual way.
I love how DPO jokes are just such a hallmark of our era.
I was in a very nice Italian pizza place where they do it authentic. I'm not talking Domino's or Pizza Hut. I had to Google DPO as a 25-year-old.
It's because it's like how everything in French is the letters are around the wrong way in initialization.
Look, has my wedding venue been a place that has chateau in the name for the last 4 months? Yes. Have I only just in the last week learned how to spell chateau? Yeah. Thanks, French people.
Well,
Yeah.
not got a passing grade on medium. I can't wait to see how hard I fail out of hard.
No. 55 is a passing
A
grade.
little generous mark, but I'll take it.
If Latrobe takes it, we'll take it. And look, just on that, hey kids, it's okay not to know things. Google them.
P's make degrees.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so hard. Number 1. What is the collective term for the underworld gods? So we have the Olympians.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have?
The Avengers.
Is that your final answer?
No. Actually, yes, because I can't think of anything else.
Fair enough. It's the chthonic gods.
There's a fuzz pedal called Chthonic Fuzz, but they tell you to pronounce it hard K, no TH.
Yep.
I think they actually pronounce it conic.
Well, I hate that. But think Cthulhu.
Well, that's funny you say
Chthonic.
that, because there's a picture of Cthulhu on the fuzz pedal, but the light they use for the on switch isn't in Cthulhu's eyes, which is just such a missed opportunity.
Is it red?
No, it's blue.
Oh. Well, they really tied a lot of things together here and then dropped the ball. All right.
I nearly sent them an email about it.
Do it. Which weapon is the first available? So when you start the game, you're immediately placed into Tartarus. You have this weapon on you.
Is it the bow and arrow?
It is not. So,
Do you start with the fists? You don't, do
No.
you? Gun comes later.
Yep.
Discus comes later.
Yep.
So what's the first one? Sword.
Yeah. So for that one, I would have accepted sword because I feel like you're going to get pretty brutalized with the questions that are coming up. But it is the sword officially known as the Stygian blade.
Oh, yeah. Stygian is something for bleeding.
Well, also Stygian means of the Styx.
Oh.
So, of course,
So
the
how
river
is stigmata
Styx.
of the palms?
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, that didn't quite register with me, but stigmata of the palms.
And, it's very rare, but there's a stick that some shaving shops will sell by the seashore. I think it's called a Stygian stick, where if you cut yourself shaving, you press it to it, it seals it.
Yep.
Hurts like a mother, but, if you're really bad at shaving, which most guys are, very necessary.
But yeah, so that's a fun fact for you. It's just something that I recently clarified. Stygian means of the Styx. So what's the collective term for all of Zagreus' weapons? So you've named a few of them there. They have a collective term.
It's not going to be something easy like the armory. It's the something of something or other. The armory of hell. Hell's arms.
Look, you're closer than you ought to be. It's the infernal arms. All right, this one's a little bit more rooted in mythology, so maybe...
Oh, hell.
You can upgrade these weapons mid-runs with hammers from this famed craftsman. Just for everyone at home, this is the hard questions. He hasn't even gotten to unfair.
God, it was always a good run when you see this bloke.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would see him at least a couple times guaranteed.
But not as much as I want. No, I can picture him. It's just not coming to me.
So that's Daedalus.
Daedalus, yeah. Of all the ancient Greek mythology characters, one of the ones that things get named after the most.
Absolutely. They look at him and they go, that'll do. Who gives you the chthonic coin purse? So the first time that you gift the nectar to people, they will generally reciprocate with...
a gift.
Yeah.
Is it Dusa?
It's not Dusa. This is also a little bit of a trick question because chthonic coin purse, you might think Charon, given his obsession with ovals. It's actually Hypnos. The first person.
That little sleepy bitch.
Yeah, the first person that I had a forged bond with.
Your whole personality, you're tired, Hypnos? News. We're all bloody tired.
No, back then people weren't tired.
What? Wait, no, stop. We have to go back.
They didn't have social media.
I never learnt my lesson from Bastion. We have to go back.
All right, back we go in the time machine.
That's a joke for everyone who's yelling into their heavens right now that I'm doing so badly at this quiz.
You know what? I think it just is grounding to see how maybe the people out there are doing.
Oh, the quiz master has become the quiz mastee.
Yeah. Now here's an interesting one. What was Persephone's birth name?
Purser, the club on Sydney Street that people I know have gone to, but I will never go to myself.
Well, that's a deep cut for Melburnians.
That's all I've got. I have no idea.
All right, so that would be Kore, which is interesting because Demeter says in this game that Kore was her birth name and the mortal father gave her the nickname Persephone. It's actually the other way around in mythology.
Oh. You giving a longer nickname than your actual name, but also thank you for taking me through the legend of Kore.
You know what? I didn't even mean to do that, but here we are. Maybe we'll get up to season 3 next time.
I just blew off my finger guns for anyone listening.
All right. So where do you fight Charon if you're silly enough to steal from him?
He takes you to... does it actually take you to the River Styx? Or like the riverbank of the River Styx?
No, he takes you... Well, in your fight with him, it's an island. You do also see this somewhere else in the game.
No.
Okay, so that's Erebus.
Oh.
Where he will bitch slap you with an oar.
The only thing I wished about the Charon fights was that, like, he drops you on the island, which is apparently called Erebus. I only just found out.
Well, it's in Erebus.
And Chiron goes to, like, the front door and takes the sign from open to closed and then turns around.
Well, when you go to the sack of money and actually touch it, it actually gives a record scratch, which is very amusing.
That is very amusing.
I was told what would happen, like, because this just started appearing for me. Because it happens midway through game once you've progressed. I was told what would happen. I still did it anyway, shouting for the memes, and then died very quickly.
You should have said do it for the vine because he usually kills you in about 7 seconds anyway.
The playback would confirm.
Did I ever kill Chiron? Maybe.
Hermes does give you a fated prophecy to kill him twice in a row. I have been story focused, so I actually haven't bothered to do that yet.
This quiz is making me really want to save my money for a Steam Deck, which is the Switch but Steam, and then not do anything else but play Hades on the couch a lot.
Well, look, we do have Hades 2 coming up soon. A very large update for it just dropped. It's still in early access, but it will be console exclusive to the Switch 2 when it comes out. Yes, you'll have the PC. The Master Race is fine.
I don't know that we can make those jokes anymore.
Look, I'm a bit offline in terms of that. So, maybe just redact it, because when you fight Hades and you get sent back to the House of Hades, it is, you fought redacted. So just put redacted in there and it'll be a nice in-joke.
Can't wait for Hades 3, Fall of the House of Hades.
I am motioning that my hand is going over my head. I have not gotten this joke.
I think it was a short story by Edgar Allan Poe called The Fall of the House of Usher. It mostly gets referenced by other things now. There was a TV show recently that I think was an adaptation.
Yes.
And one episode of the murder mystery set in the White House was called that because every episode is named after a famous murder mystery thing.
Just like Riverdale episodes.
Anyway,
stop putting off the inevitable.
Without this hat? It's weird. I'm weird.
I feel like you're stalling.
Stop, Edgar Evernever. I'm Magin fucking Amick and I've got a gun.
Yeah, that did happen. Anyway, we're not stalling anymore. You have to see your score. Speaking of Erebus, if you enter an Erebus gate in Asphodel, how much heat must you have minimum?
I've played this game.
Yes.
I know the English language. That sentence makes zero sense to me anymore.
So Erebus gates are a special thing that you can access if you have enough heat, which you acquire through the Pact of Punishment. You have to have a minimum level.
Heat are the little red diamond things?
No, that's the little levels that you get from the Pact of Punishment.
Oh, heck.
Which, fun fact, if you overload it enough, the heat gauge will tell you that it's crying. Okay, so it's 10.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now I believe in you. For the
Grave
love
error,
of God,
given
I
the
believe in
recent
you.
evidence.
Who guards the exit from Elysium?
Okay.
The boss battle.
Yes, I know. So it's...
I don't think you do.
The Minotaur is one half of them.
I will give you that. The Bull of Minos.
Yeah, Mini.
Well, his name is Asterius.
His name's hilarious.
Okay.
Should we do Hamilton but Ancient Greece? No. No, I don't need to be more of a white guy with shorts. So, I don't remember his name, but also I never used his name because I don't respect him enough to use his name. I usually called him, that motherfucker.
Given my hate for this particular character and the fact that you've been able to give me the Bull of Minos...
Was it Achilles? It's not Achilles, no.
No, because Achilles is the guy who trains you. He's also a guard at the House of Hades. Achilles does have opinions on this person's...
No, I'm not going to get it.
So does Patroclus. So it's Theseus.
Theseus, yes.
Look, you've been able to remember that he's very annoying. Mm-hmm. He's my most hated character. And you got the Bull of Minos or the Minotaur. So you know what? Pity point.
You know how Theseus talks in that game?
Mm-hmm.
My friend Lockie's running one half of D&D at the moment. Mm-hmm. And there's a guy called Carrick Lapland who we rescued from jail. He is a cannibal, but we try not to hold that against him because he's necessary for saving the world. I don't think it's intentional, but
I've seen this episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
all the vibes that Theseus gives you in Hades, Carrick Lapland gives in D&D. And Lockie's like, I don't understand why everyone hates Carrick Lapland. He was supposed to be an ally for you guys. He keeps wanting you to save the world. And Carrick Lapland is such a punk-ass bitch. I wrote 9 verses of a fucking rap against him. I was also very bored at work at the time. But Carrick Lapland, you've got a diss track coming, son. Anyway, back to my underperformance.
Fair enough. You have acquired a pity point.
Excellent.
Halfway rounding up point. Last question for Hard. If you're having trouble with your escape attempts, you can turn on what feature? I like this because I hadn't gamed in a while. I didn't turn it on, but it was nice to know that included that feature.
Yeah, I remember it being notable that it was there.
It's also in Hades too.
It's not invincible mode. I think that's another thing.
I will tell you that it's something mode.
Yeah.
You've got that right.
No, I'm not going to get it.
It's God mode.
God mode. Oh, yeah.
Okay, do you want to guess your score? Okay, you've just looked at the score sheet.
I'm going to say you've given me one very generously. I'm going to say I've got half.
No, we round up. 0.5 goes to 1.
That is mathematically correct, depending on what kind of rounding you're using.
You did a science degree. Alrighty, so are you ready for unfair?
Oh, hell yeah. Let's sock it to me.
LFG, what colour laurels denote...
I don't know Zagreus' license plate, Emily.
I feel like Harley's about to vent every frustration that
Green, olive, and gold.
Sorry?
Green, olive, and gold. That's the colour of the laurels.
Okay, let me finish the question and maybe you have a shot at this. What colour laurels denote a run-only chamber reward? So you can get 2 types of rewards. Run-only or ones that persist after a run.
Uh-huh.
There are 2 colours.
Gold?
Holy Christ, he's done it.
Oh, let me guess. The laurel means something good. Might it be a golden laurel?
And what's the other one? I will give you a bonus point if you figure out. So the ones that persist after runs.
Yeah.
Like the knight, the gems.
I'm just going to say green.
You know what? You're so close. It's blue.
Green and blue are close if you have colour blindness.
They're both cool colours.
That
and I'm
is
not saying they're
senses in
dope.
both
I'm
sense of the
saying,
word.
yeah, because they're both cool toned colours. So hey, don't bully me. All right, number 2. Which chamber reward will only ever be on base difficulty? So other ones can be like boss battles and increased difficulty. This chamber reward will only ever appear at base difficulty.
Extra lives.
No, it's nectar.
Sure.
Skelly tells you that his name in life was what?
Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
On this night, Skelemaeus. Okay, now we've got one that you can know just through Greek mythology. Who is Artemis's best friend?
Artemis.
And this is definitely a they were roommates type situation.
Oh. Who's Artemis? The cool hunter lady?
Yes.
Right. She definitely spent a bit of time on that island, which if I could remember the name of... No, because... Right. There was an island called Lesbos, which I don't know anything about other than the name, but that's not the island we're talking about, because the island is not Themyscira, because that's Wonder Woman. It's a third Greek island that actually matters. Sorry, Cyprus. That is the name...
Get wrecked, Mykonos.
What? Thank you. There's the island, that's the thing, because there's the famous Greek lady in history. I know this from being a normal history person. I'm not a history person, not a stupid Greek mythology person. Sorry, Greek mythology people. That everyone's like, oh, they were roommates with her. She was a poet.
I'm going to just pop up and say wood nymph.
I've gone so far down the wrong track, haven't I?
Look,
Pass.
if you were... So we have a place near us named Polaris, and there are different names there, and you would see this around. Callisto.
Callisto. Who's the poet from history that I'm thinking of?
I wish I could tell you.
Next question.
And I know you're going to love this one. What is the river that flows through Asphodel? So there are different rivers in the different biomes.
I'm just going to say Styx because I don't know any other river in ancient Greece.
Well, I really wanted to say this word. It's the Phlegathon.
Is that filled with phlegm?
No, it's filled with lava, Harley. Don't you remember anything about Asphodel?
Nope.
Fair enough. Who is the only character that you can gift nectar indefinitely or infinitely? So most people have like...
Sappho was the poet I was thinking of.
Okay, we got there.
I'm going to say Hades because no matter how many gifts you give him, you can't actually get his love.
No, after you finish, the run to get Persephone home, you can actually gift him nectar. You can only give him up to 5, and then he'll actually return them to you, being like, boy, we're not doing this.
Oh, yeah, I remember getting them like, oh, thank God, these are so much useful elsewhere.
Yeah, I really needed to repurpose them. So it's Baldy. It's Sisyphus's boulder. Once you get to a point with Sisyphus, you can actually talk to Baldy.
Oh, yeah,
and
I remember that now.
Gift him nectar, he will give you an unspecified boon.
Yes, I remember this, because as soon as wait, I can talk to Baldy? Hell yeah, I'm going to talk to Baldy. Baldy, what's good?
My favourite one is the ambiguity boon, but most often it'll say, you believe in Baldy and Baldy believes in you, and it'll give you like a 4% damage bonus or something like that. So that's quite fun.
We must imagine Sisyphus happy.
You know what? I think maybe he is happy with himself.
Disappointed that philosopher's not pronounced Albert Camus.
What?
Philosopher called Albert Camus, Caemus, and the notable quote from his entire life of work was, "We must imagine Sisyphus happy." Let's not delve into that.
Fair enough. Let's delve into this instead. Patroclus will offer these two different premium items depending on if you have Death Defiance or Stubborn Defiance. So he offers you 3 premium versions of Well of Charon items. 2 of them will always stay the same. The top one will change depending on if you have Death Defiance or Stubborn Defiance through the Mirror of Night.
No idea.
So it's either the Kiss of Styx Premium, or if you have Stubborn Defiance, it will be the Touch of Styx Dark.
Oof.
Anyway, what is the name of the chariot that Theseus acquires with extreme measures? So if he wasn't bad enough, if you turn on extreme measures, you show up.
Yeah.
Him and Asterius are gold-plated, and he has a chariot, and I'm not even kidding, it's just like a rocket launcher.
I'm having flashbacks now. I remember that.
Yep.
Bullshit. The name of the chariot is bullshit.
It's the Macedonian Tau Lambda.
Tau Lambda. That's a sector in Half-Life. That's not a real place.
I'll let you argue without the people who want to argue about that. All right. You have 1 point and 2 questions left. You have tied with your score from hard, but can you surpass it?
Statistically unlikely.
Hey, look, let's see how you go. What is the legendary fish that you can catch in Elysium?
Oh, I don't know that I ever caught that.
Now, catching the legendary fish is very, very hard because you have a 50-50 chance of catching either a legendary fish or a rare fish if you manage to press after the catch in under 0.34 of a second. If you do it between 0.34 of a second and 0.68 of a second, you have a 50-50 chance between a rare and a common. And if you do it after 0.68 of a second, you get nothing. Go home!
So, brief divergence. Hades or Stardew Valley, which has the more bullshit fishing mechanic?
It's Hades.
That's fair.
I can learn Stardew.
One-Eyed Joe is the name of the fish.
It's the sea mare.
Sure.
It's giving Pokemon.
What does that evolve into?
My nightmares. And finally,
I thought that was Peter Dutton as Prime Minister.
that too, I can have multiple nightmares. Giving this fish to the head chef of the House of Hades will give what reward?
I did this. I fucking did this, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Ambrosia.
Look, you're not that far off. You're not as far off as you should be. It gives you 3 nectars.
Really wandering into, well, second place is really the first loser.
That is how Latrobe markets themselves. They're like, oh, we're in the top 2 of universities in this sector. And I was like, cool, you're second.
Yeah, the second anyone says we're in the top blank, I'm like, okay, so if you say you're top 10, you're a 9, right?
It is correct. And I'm also so sorry because I was going to ask you what score do you think you got overall, but I think you've just peeped at the sheet.
So when we discussed the idea of this episode, I was jokingly said that I was going to get like 5-2-1-0.
Yep.
But the easy one really bumped me up here.
Yeah, so you got 9 out of 10 for the easy.
Yep.
You got 5 out of 10 for the medium. You got 1 out of 10 for the hard, and you got 1 out of 10 for the unfair. Look, I feel like they're all pretty decent. I probably would have maybe expected another answer or 2 correct in the medium and maybe another answer or 2 correct in the hard, but acknowledging that you haven't played this game in almost 5 years, you were hoping to get a run in before I did this to you.
20 hours since we pitched the idea. So I got 16 out of 40.
You got 16 out of 40, but the important thing here is you got 15 out of 30 of the non-unfair questions.
If we scoopy-doop the metric just a little bit.
Look, life shouldn't be unfair, so maybe we'll, augment that data a little
Shouldn't
bit.
be.
Now, for anyone listening today, you have got a sneak peek at the unfair questions. Most people, if you're familiar with our format, will know they don't air till the end of the season. So, yeah, you can be prepared. You can get a look in. You can tell us whether or not you got more right than Harley. And most importantly, hopefully you've got an insight into why I have to write unfair questions. Because not only do I look and go, yeah, that would be an easy, medium, or hard. I'm like, what if I asked about this really specific thing that you shouldn't remember? And particularly our Hamilton fans seem to get a lot of the unfairs correct.
That makes a bit of sense, though, because of all the properties we've done, there's less visual things you can question about Hamilton.
Yeah.
And the fact that 90% of the show is wrapped means you're going to retain more of it because it's really fun to sing along and perform, obviously.
Just in your head.
It's a and also the sort of people who like Hamilton fucking love Hamilton.
Well, so a question for you.
Yes.
How have you felt about this happening?
It's fine. Like, less apprehensive about this than most of my exams at university. Even though I knew I was going to do about as well on this as I did on many of those.
And what do you think about Hades the game?
Very, very good. A game has to be, I know I keep mentioning this, but a game has to be exceptionally good to get me interested if it's about Greek mythology. I have just such a... Obviously, there's nothing wrong with Greek mythology. There's nothing wrong with liking Greek mythology. It's just one of my personal biases. I have a couple. But a game has to be very, very, very good if it's going to be centered around Greek mythology and get me interested in it.
And does the fact that it's a roguelike, a hack and slash, does that get you anywhere?
I've not actually played that many hack and slashes. I did play Binding of Isaac, but I only got to the first ending. My friend Kurt got to 1 million endings, and I'm like, cool story, bro. Too much work. Not going to play that hard. I think Hades overall is a much better game. It's more fun. The core gameplay loop is much better than Binding of Isaac. It's also less miserable of a story. So of the hack and slash roguelikes I've played, it's the best. Of the things related to Greek mythology, it's the best. I like Dan Harmon shows generally. I heard he was making a Greek mythology show, and I was just like, no, I'm not even... I watched the trailer because it was a minute on YouTube, but that was it. Do not care.
That's fair.
If Hades 2 ever makes it out of early access, I'll probably pick it up. But, if it ever makes it out of early access. It's been in early access since the first Trump presidency.
Hades 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I really hate to readjust your timeline. Considering that Hades 1 was released in the last year of Trump presidency. Hades 2 officially went into early access in May 2024.
I feel like I've been hearing about it so much longer than that.
Yeah, and so, as I mentioned earlier, we will be getting that as a Switch 2 exclusive later this year, 2025.
Also, 4 years between sequels. Get on your something or other Supergiant games?
Supergiant Games said that they were only going to do this if they could do it well, and they quoted a couple sequels for games that they actually thought were worthwhile, which included Portal 2. So I feel like having good aspirations and working on a game is oh no, so terrible for Supergiant, giving us a great game. Oh no.
Look, I actually do respect Supergiant Games. I like what they've done, and that's also the probably best way to think about a sequel. I'm just balancing that against the fact that they made Majora's Mask in 13 months or some shit.
I feel like it's way less acceptable to do drugs in the workplace than when that was made.
It's also less acceptable in the West to do the insane sort of work hours they have historically pulled in Japan.
Well, that has been...
No matter how hard Rockstar tries.
They just keep trying.
Crunch. Video game crunch shouldn't be a thing. Crunch should only be things you mix into ice cream.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, I have to have lunch and a shower and then go to D&D.
Woo! All right. Well, that has been the Hades questions with Harley, who has put 90 hours in.
90.1, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll get that right next time. I'm sorry, to quote someone here, I'll do better next time. And we hope you've enjoyed a little insight into this. Let us know if we should do any others. Should we maybe get me to have a look at some other internet quizzes out there, see if I can actually, put my money where the mouth is. But yeah, this is what 90 hours got you, Harley. 16 out of 40.
What have I become?
All right. When these
My
episodes air,
sweetest friend.
make sure to put your
Everything
scores
I
in the comments
know
and tell us
goes
whether or not you beat
away
Harley.
in the end.
Respond to Harley's
and you
episode
can have it
by
all.
letting us know whether or not you beat him.
My empire of dirt.
He's having a moment. He also has that quote on a shirt that also has Stuart Little on it. It's bright orange.
I will make you hurt.
I don't know how to make this end.
No, I said the thing.
And I just told the audience that you have that quote on a shirt with Stuart Little that's bright orange.
It's so good. It makes no sense. If I remember, I'll put a picture on screen for the YouTube watchers now.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm going to go make some more torturous questions.
Qrivia, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks. An avocado. Sorry, let me take that again. Thanks.